This episode is sponsored by Humanity, the full-service marketing agency that was built for changemakers. We believe that bold ideas can shift culture and can shape the future. It's why we work with founders and innovators and leaders to amplify their bold visions and turn their purpose into impact. Through strategy, behavioral science, and storytelling, we help organizations bring clarity to who they are, what they stand for, and how they connect with the world. We're here to help changemakers like you build what's next. Learn more at humanityagency.com.
Hi, everybody. Mark Harrison here from Sponsored Bex. I really wish I had some intro music, some walk-on tune, something dynamic to share or get you excited about what I'm about to talk about, because I'm pretty excited about it. What I'm about to talk about is the Sponsored Bex Changemakers Summit. And this is going to be part of almost like Changemakers Week when you think about what's going to happen. So, usually I have a guest on this podcast, but today I want to take you through this journey, this Changemaker's journey, and this walk through the summit. So I'll be doing it on my own. No, I don't have everything I'm about to talk to you about memorized, so I will be cheating a little bit and looking down at some notes. Hope you're okay with that. Because the goal today is really for me to share with you as much as I possibly can about what's happening in a month in Toronto at the Sponsored Bex Changemaker Summit, technically November 13th to 15th. But as you probably know, and I'll talk a little bit about today, we've got a pre-summit event on November 12th that we're also super excited about. If I had some biceps, I would flex them for you. So, once again, welcome to the Sponsored Bex Podcast, Season 2. We're talking about changemakers, and today I'm going to be talking about a whole bunch of changemakers. And they're going to be gathered together at our summit because this summit is a journey. And I love the construct of the hero's journey by Joseph Campbell. It's something that I think is amazing for leaders and marketers and dreamers that want to make change, that want to influence the way society goes forward, that wants to solve problems. And so let's walk on that journey together, if you will, and literally think about from the time you sign up for the Changemakers Summit to a year from now, when you're reflecting back on who you met, what you learned, what inspired you. Hopefully, this will help amplify and magnify and intensify your journey as a change maker. So, if you're wondering where to sign up for the Sponsored Bex Changemaker Summit, that's pretty easy. sponsoredbex.com/changemakers. If you're a nonprofit, we have nonprofit rates. If you're bringing teammates, we've got savings every time you add a teammate. If you're looking for a deal, hit us up at info@sponsoredbex.com and we'll talk. All right, let's kick this thing off. The summit begins actually on the 12th of November, even though we are advertising it as the 13th to 15th. Sometimes you wonder, why do we, I'm supposed to be a marketer. Why do we make these things so confusing? I don't know. Anyway, technically the summit is the 13th to 15th, but we've added a pre-summit event for people who buy full summit passes. And that is we're going to have an opportunity to go see the Toronto premiere of the Pitch documentary at Hot Docs at the Ted Rogers Cinema on Bloor. And this documentary is all about how Diana Matheson and her team built Canada's first professional women's soccer league, the Northern Super League. Shout out to our friends at the Northern Super League. They are our host changemaker for this conference, for this summit. And we really want to focus on change making. This is not a women's sports conference. It's not a soccer conference. It's not a diversity conference. It's about change making. Everything from entrepreneurship to innovation. Because when you actually dig deep and go layers deep. What Diana did and is doing with her team, Christina Litz and everybody else, it's entrepreneurial. It's a for-profit initiative. It's got partners, investors, advertisers, brands, stakeholders, media, influencers, athletes, agents, lawyers, stadiums, volunteers, staff, food vendors, brand activators. This has everything. And I believe thoroughly that change makers are those who are the dissatisfied, those who see a problem in this world that needs to be solved. And so I'm so excited to be going to the pitch, so excited to have a chance to see this work that has really been the blood, sweat, and tears of Natalie Cook and her team. They're going to be there along with the director. It'll be kind of like going to a film festival. I mean, it is literally like a film festival. So you'll actually get a chance to hear behind the scenes as well. Also on the 12th, we will have registration open. So if you are, by the way, thanks, Planet Coffee in Ottawa, the Byward Market. If you're wondering where I am, this has a weird setting behind me. I'm in Ottawa at the Westin. That's an unpaid endorsement, but I love the Westin in Ottawa. By the way, registration will also be open on the 12th at the Waterworks Food Hall in Toronto. So if you're downtown, you want to get signed up early, you'll be able to register there. You'll also be able to register, pick up your pass at the hot dogs. All right. I spent way too much time on the pre. Now we're getting into the event. So on the 13th of November, Thursday, we kick things off. We'll have some organized morning momentum. So those of you who want to get out for a jog, get some clarity, meet some new folks, then you'll have an opportunity from early morning on to register at the Waterworks. The Waterworks is an incredible venue. It's a historical part of Toronto. Literally, since they converted it from an industrial venue to this amazing food hall experience, I wanted to do an event there. So what'll be really fun is we've got some really unique venues there. So one's called the East Annex. That'll be kind of, think of it like our networking and food area. So it'll be open all day. So first thing morning, we'll have breakfast and snacks for you guys there. Kind of a continental buffet as well, coffee, and later on in the day, you'll be able to get your lunch. We'll actually be getting everybody effectively think about like a university meal card to go back and pick up food from all the different vendors. They're in the Waterworks. There's so many of them. It's amazing. So that venue will be open there all day. And often people go to conferences, they talk about the networking is a key part. So that'll be a key part to be. As well, for those of you who are SBX Global members, we're going to have a special lounge for you. That'll also be open for our speakers and our key partners. And that'll be in the bar there called Civilworks at the Waterworks, which is an amazing VIP area. That'll be open from about 9:30 to 2 every day. So if you're not an SPX Global member, go online, learn how to become one, and that'll be a great place for kind of a secluded networking opportunity to have meetings, etc. So first thing morning, let's call it 9 o'clock. We'll be kicking things off. I want to talk to you about the Changemaker's journey because I believe that the Changemaker's journey kind of mirrors the hero's journey, it mirrors the path of entrepreneurs and leaders. I want to talk a little bit about discomfort. I want to talk a little bit about doubt. I want to talk about discovery. And ultimately, what's your framework, your schematic for how you go through life? I'm going to share you mine, not because I want you to follow mine. I'm not Simon Sinek saying, this is the model you need to follow. I'm simply going to share with you my example of my 4 Ps: passion, people, profit, and purpose, and how that framework works for me. Then we'll be heading into some more keynotes. There'll be lots of time to grab coffee and stuff in between. And then off we go. So what's going to happen after that? Well, I can't wait to tell you. And now I'm going to tell you what's going to happen after that. We're going to start having spotlight sessions. So we've got a bunch of great speakers lined up who are waiting on some final confirmations from as well. Some of the speakers you'll also see that day. We're going to have Norma Riley, one of our partners, taking you through the release of the 19th annual Canadian Sponsorship Landscape Study. Jamie Bonini, who is the president of the Toyota Production System Support Center. He's going to be talking about operational excellence for social good, how Toyota applies its legendary continuous improvement system to community impact, turning efficiency into empathy. I did not know until I got talking to the Toyota people that they had this entire social impact, enterprise that helped nonprofit and for-profit organizations really figure out how they can solve challenges together. And so this group works with nonprofits, works with community organizations, and really is focused on impact. So one of the things I want to be really clear about is, yes, we're partnered with the Northern Super League, and I made my talk off the top saying it's not a women's sports conference, it's not a diversity conference. Those things are obviously incredibly important. It's also not a sports conference. Yes, in the sponsorship world, a lot of the speakers tend to come from the sports world, but you're going to see that we've got folks who are into sustainability, driving sustainability forward, like Tentree. We've got Johnson & Johnson and Princess Margaret to talk about care. I mean, this Toyota Production System Sports Center presentation is a really good example of what I mean by there's a ton of stuff here for people that are in the nonprofit world, in the social impact world, and you name it. Continuing on through the day, if you don't mind my just scrolling through here in my notes, because as I say it off the top, I can't possibly memorize all of this information. I'm really excited to have Nicole Pike. She's the global head of sport for YouGov come and speak. And Nicole, in her past life, has been on a couple of webinars with us. I've never had the opportunity to host her live, so I'm really excited about that. And she's going to take us through this whole notion where, in today's really kind of sport media landscape, athletes, they're not just athletes anymore, right? They've got powerful personal brands. They are no longer just a rep of their team. Their voices carry weight. They quite often speak out on social issues and platforms. And quite frankly, they have more impact and more reach often than the leagues or teams that they play for. So Nicole's going to take us through this growing impact of individual athletes, the connection of that to fandom, to social change, consumer behavior, brand engagement, and also kind of what that looks like based on different demographics and characteristics. So I think if you're an organization, you're thinking about how do you want to strategically partner with athletes to amplify your social impact, build fan trust, build community, and create, really truly deep connections. This is a great opportunity to do that. We're also really excited to have Ryan Billy from Princess Margaret Cancer Center and James Carver, Marketing Director, Multiple Myeloma Johnson & Johnson. And they are going to talk about this notion of rational alignment and emotional connection. And as they explore these dual forces driving their collaboration, they're going to take us through how on the rational side, their collaboration is anchored in a shared mission to improve the lives of people facing cancer, and how they did that, how they built internal momentum, how they collaborate strategically, and they advance outcomes through values-driven alliances. And there's obviously a very strong emotional side. So you're going to hear about that through personal stories, employee alignment, community connection. I'm kind of getting a little emotional here. That fuel, passion, and purpose. 2 in 5 Canadians are expected to face a cancer diagnosis. This is a cause that resonates deeply, that creates belonging, that motivates people. And the Princess Margaret Cancer Center and Johnson & Johnson thoroughly believe that every rider in their ride has the opportunity to help and create a brighter future for those who need it. Question for you. What happens when you take the unbelievable hospitality of Sponsorship X and mix it with the first ever professional women's soccer championship of this country, the NSL final? I'll tell you what you get. You get the Sponsorship X Changemakers Summit happening November 13th to 15th in Toronto, Ontario. You're going to get workshops, keynotes all about entrepreneurship, innovation, impact, and sponsorship from a bevy of international speakers. We're going to have a small side football tournament. We are going to have an opportunity to witness NSL activations. We are all going to attend the historic first ever NSL final on Saturday, November 15th at BMO Field. You know there's going to be great networking, great fun, great learning. So sign up today at sponsorshipx.com for the Changemakers Summit. Also during the conference, excited that our friends at Humanity are going to be doing a challenge lab. I'm going to call it a hackathon. Did I say hackathon? Hackathon. And what's going to be cool about this is they're going to take you through this hack. See, I'm already shortening it down to a hack. And give you an opportunity to combine your minds with others, people from different industries, different walks of life, and tackle some real world problems and challenges that they get submitted from nonprofits and startups, grassroots organizations into, let's tackle them, brainstorm, innovate, come up with game-changing solutions, and, really take this on as a opportunity to spark your mind, make your mark, and help come up with some amazing solutions for these organizations that are going to be a part of the conference. As I mentioned before, lunch is going to be really dynamic at this event. So as opposed to everybody sitting down at, round tables with 8 people, you're going to get an opportunity to go out into the waterworks, use your food cards, and figure out what you want, and then come back and have a dynamic lunch in our private East Annex. That is going to be super cool. One of the things that we love to do is have, almost like kind of breakout. So after lunch, we're going to be having what we call Changemaker tables, which are folks who are really focused on a catalyst for change. We're going to have Helen Stumbus, the founder and CEO of the Good Games Festival. We're going to have Rachel Pinnock, Senior Director. Director. I just promoted you, Rachel. Woo-woo. Commercial Strategy and Impact, Canadian Paralympic Committee. Claire Barron, Manager of Learning and Development at Park Street Education, who's our charity partner. So when you do register, the option to donate more money to Park Street. So please do. In all seriousness, I founded Park Street to help break all barriers to education. I named it Park Street because my father taught at a high school in Aurelia named Park Street, and they tore it down and they didn't build it back up. So this is really in honor of him. Nathan Hayashi. I hope I didn't butcher that, Nathan, especially since we've had several conversations. He's not just the founder of the Gear Shop Technical Motorsport, but he's the first Canadian to qualify for the Dakar Rally. You got to meet this guy. And Yanis from L'Oreal. And Yanis, I haven't met you, so I'm probably going to butcher your last name, which I would hate to do. Yanis is the Consumer Engagement Manager. And what's going to happen at these tables is you're going to have an opportunity to have conversations with them about partnerships that impact growth, how you have what Nathan likes to call it creative alchemy to turn sort of an idea into reality. Yanis is going to talk about innovating from within, navigating change, culture, and partnerships with math and magic. Helen's going to reimagine the sports experience. And this is going to be really, really a dynamic opportunity for you to sit down at a small table in a small session and have a great conversation. So it's going to be an incredible day. Later that day, we're also going to have Impact Track session featuring our host Changemakers. So Marianne Brooks from the Northern Super League, some of their partners, Eric Martin from BMO, Farkunda Mahaj, who's community ambassador, Marie Pere Leclerc, Vice President Marketing of Intact Insurance. And this will be a powerhouse panel impact session, which we're really excited about. And, we're just going to keep it going all day long. Hope you don't mind that I'm reading here. We've got a great panel from our friends at the Sponsorship Marketing Council of Canada. We have some SMA award winners. So that's a snapshot of Thursday. It went a little longer than I planned. But Thursday night, we are going to have an opening night party, which will include dinner, hospitality, which is my code word for open bar, and it's going to be held down in the Entertainment District in Toronto. So if you are attending the conference, recognize it's kind of a dusk to dawn. So you might want to say, I'm going to work these 2 hours, come in the afternoon. I'm going to attend the conference in the morning. I'm going to work in the afternoon. Make sure you make it to the party. If you are registering and you want to bring some colleagues, shoot a note to our guest services line, because we will have the opportunity for those who are registered to buy additional tickets, because we've got a nice big venue. Okay, now on Friday. Oh my gosh, Mark. I think you overdid it on day one there. I'm excited on Friday because we're going to keep going with more and more sessions. And again, I just want to share some of them with you. We've got another really insightful thought leader in terms of the global perspective on the industry, and that's going to be Andrew Lafioska. Andrew is the managing director for US and Canada of Nielsen Sports. And our team's working right now with Andrew as he's developing kind of where his presentations are going to be. But a couple of things that I asked him to focus on is bringing us a global perspective, which I'm excited about, bringing us examples of organizations that have kind of mixed it up in sponsorship, literally been change makers, and what are the results they've had from that? How has it worked for them? What's the magic been? So very excited to have Andrew and Nielsen with us as well. Then we're going to have another panel, Leanne Bernardo, who's the president of Celtic Sea, amazing agency, just growing like mad. She'll have a couple of clients with her. We're still finalizing who those are. And then I'm really excited to announce that Hannah Parrish, who's the country head for Canada for Airbnb, will be coming and talking about, opening doors to economic empowerment. I like the kind of subtle pun there. Now, last year at our Sponsorship X conference in Paris at the Olympics, there's a flex those biceps out again. Our sponsorship conference at the Olympics. We were lucky enough to have Felix Vo from Airbnb there. And, it's really interesting to see how Airbnb sees themselves as a foundation for thriving communities. They did an amazing job in Paris of ensuring that a lot of their hosts were creating adaptive places for visitors to stay for the Paralympics. Imagine some of the old apartments and buildings in Paris that they're not set up for that. And so Hannah's going to be talking to us about the fact that Airbnb is not just a travel platform, but really it is a powerhouse engine, economic development, economic empowerment. And she's going to share some case studies of stuff that they've learned at both those, the very same Olympics and Paralympics that I just referenced, also FIFA and other global events. And her perspective is going to be how this unlocks opportunity, both globally and locally. So I'm really excited to have Hannah in our midst. That's going to be just amazing. We've got Canadian Women's Sport coming as well, and featuring Alison Sandmeyer-Graves, who's the CEO, and she's going to be sharing some features from their new It's Time research, talking about how the women's sports sector has doubled in size and the valuable opportunities available for brands. You're not going to want to miss that. We got lots of data coming, very clearly, lots of data. Speaking of women's sport, I had an opportunity the other day to do a podcast with Ashima Chopra from Fanverse, and she's, she just launched this business in February. Let me be clear. She's already rewriting playbooks, cracking open new ecosystems, and looking at ways to build fandom from a female lens, from women's first. And so I think there's going to be some powerful lessons here for you to learn about community first engagement, about data-driven insights, and about content that resonates. So looking forward to seeing Ashima. I have a professional crush on Matthew Logley. Matthew's one of the co-founders, managing partner of The Greater. I've admired this guy from afar for a long time, and over the last several years, I've got to know him up close. And so, allow me to go public now, if you don't mind, with my professional crush on Matthew Logley, because this guy's not just building up. I don't want to call it an agency, a consultancy that is booming, but he's doing it in the right way, reinvesting 50% of their net profit back into community, only working with socially conscious organizations. He's going to take us behind the scenes of social entrepreneurship, what they've done well, and the lessons they've learned along the way. And the cool thing is, because he's much cooler than me, he's going to take us through some insights from pop culture, what it means today, how you can rethink conventions, and discover new ways to build business and partnership strategies. Could not be more excited for that. Another purpose driven group is 17 Sport. Now, back to my Paris flex. We were very fortunate. Neil Duffy, the CEO of 17 Sport, Neil's based in Paris, but South African, and he brought together an amazing panel for us. What 17 Sport really does is they're looking at this changes in society and what are the challenges that sport faces and what are the opportunities that sport faces. How can we be forward looking? How can we use innovation, data, creativity to transform sport from a driving force for resilience, connection in this unfuture world? He's got some great case studies from Deloitte, Nike. He'll take you through strategies, partnerships, creative approaches to help us build a more resilient future. So jump on board to this one. There's going to be a lot you can learn here and a lot you can apply. And again, I sound like I'm preaching a bit, but there are opportunities for you to learn, regardless of what sector you're in. We just literally last week signed up to have the folks from Tradable Bits on our agenda. So really excited that that will be happening as well. Working through right now who's going to be coming, but Tradable Bits, many of you know, are incredible technology partners in this industry. And I've had a chance to see them speak. I've had a chance to interact with their technology. So super excited about that. Then we're going to have a Force for Change panel. This is going to be amazing. Sarah Simpson, who's the global events head for EA Sports. Derek Emsley is the CEO and co-founder of Tentree, will be on this panel. So that's kind of cool, right? We got sports and sustainability. They both start with S's. And then I'm not sure what else is in common. But no, how can you use sponsorship as a force for change? That's something we all absolutely need to look at. And so I know I've probably missed a couple of folks who are speaking. Just double checking my own notes here to make sure that I haven't missed somebody who's going to send me a note saying, you missed me, because that would be bad. Let's just go over here to the sponsorshipx.com website. This is the magic of the internet, that I could be recording podcasts with you while I am over here on the internet looking at my own website to see who the heck is speaking at my own conference. Okay, I missed some folks. Matt Yonan from Tigris, great agency out of Denver, founder, industry rock star. Really like working with Matt, and he's going to be amazing. On Saturday, sorry, we're going to stay on Friday here for a second, and I'm just going to make sure I got all of our speakers. Yes, Neil, Laura Cutsey from Coca-Cola will also be on one of our impact panels, so can't forget her. And, we got a couple more that we're signing up, but I think I did a pretty good job. Looks like I haven't forgotten anybody. Friday night, we are going to have some fun entertainment. We're working through an idea right now with a partner. Don't have the idea nailed yet, but it hopefully will have you all in laughter. Saturday, we're going to be going to the first ever professional women's soccer championship in Canada, the NSL final. And prior to that, we have rented out the Brazen Head in Liberty Village.
We're going to have a pregame, brunch, pep rally, some amazing guest speakers, get everybody psyched up. Then we're going to head over to the Fan Fest outside BMO Field. And then all Summit delegates will be getting a ticket to attend the first ever NSL final. So there you have it. That is, as of today, what the Changemakers Changemakers Summit looks like. I think you can tell there's going to be incredible number of opportunities for you to get motivated, inspired, informed, meet new people. I can't wait to see you there. Signing off, Mark Harrison. Thanks for listening to season 2 of the Sponsored Bucks podcast. Next episode, I'll be back with a guest.